Started.
There we go. Yay. A little bit of technical difficulties. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Linda.
So we have Trisha and Jonathan and Michael, and we're in a different setup tonight, so we may have some cat visitations this evening. So good to see everybody. Hello. Yes, good. Thank you, Kelly.
So, tonight we talk about communion with God, finding the sacred in everyday life.
I like that.
So, how do you find communion with God?
When I go within, I believe that God is right here. God's not out there anywhere. So when I do inner listening, the inner sight, inner sound, inner presence, that to me is communion with God. And I would say if I'm going to look at my external sphere, nature. I see nature as communication. It's like, is it me communicating with me? Yeah, like I'm looking out now and there's a couple leaves that are waving at me, and it's like, hi God, birds are a big part of communication for me. So that inner listening for sure, and then observing nature, sitting in nature. Those are the top two that come to my mind. What about you?
I think about how I wake up, right? I set I try to set an intention when I wake up every day, right? I set a thank you to the sun, right? The sun rising, as if I'm rising, my energy is rising in my body, right? And we have a perfect view of the sun coming up out our window, right? So I just feel and see that sun is God, but God is me, so that is just rising within me, just rising my energy for the day, right? And I sit there and just soak it in, and then the birds will start chirping, right? And that's just the song, the soundtrack to my life, right? Just giving me knowledge and wisdom for the day. And yes, I try to start out that way. Lately, I've been doing my own Zen garden type of thing. Trisha just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Trisha. And that birthday, we had to clean up and we did all this outside work, and I started raking around our fire pit. And in Florida, everything is sand, even though there's grass on it, there's still sand underneath. So it just turned into I was just making circles, right? And then I said, let me set an intention why I'm doing this. I'm doing counterclockwise circles, doing around the fire pit and sand, right? And I'm just setting my intention. Then it started building. I started making the circle perfect diameter, right? And then I said, okay, what is this circle? And what does it represent? So I said, this circle is my luminous egg. And that luminous egg has roots and rocks and leaves in it, and I'm going to get all the dissonant energy out of my luminous egg. And so I just kept raking and raking, going around, just picking everything I picked up and threw out. It was something I was picking out of my fields, right? And it just felt good. It just felt so good. And I was like, oh, that's... And then we started watching Shogun, which is on Hulu. It's a Japanese show, which is amazing. And, you know, I was aware of Zen gardens, but I didn't understand to the fullest what they meant. And then they talked about it in the show, and it just made so much more sense of just tending to your garden every day. I tried it every day. Last night was a perfect example where it started raining, and if Trish was like, oh, it's flooding. And I was like, right away, I was like, oh, that's emotions, right? There's emotions flooding my luminous egg, right? So I went out in the rain, and I built a ditch, and I took all of that water out, right? And it felt like I was stopping something from occurring, right? It was just like this, it felt like this, all these emotions were trying to flood my luminous egg, but I was like, nope, this is not going to happen today. And I just took it out, right? And, yeah, it's like my little Zen place where, you know, if I'm not feeling 100% and there's something triggering me or trying to obstruct my wind in the tree, I go out and I say, okay, what's in this luminous egg that I need to take out? What can I rake out? What can I do to just set an intention? And I set an intention, and if it's clearing something or just what I want, I just go around trying to make perfect circles with a rake, and it just feels good.
Yeah.
And then Nova will come and lay in my luminous egg right after I make it as perfect as I can, and she lays and sits in it. And I tell her it's okay, even though it's a test of my patience. If anyone's allowed in my luminous egg, it's Nova or Trisha or the cat. So it doesn't. That's what I want anyway. So it's really not a test. It's more of a safe spot for her. She never laid in there before, so now she does lay in there. So it's a perfect example of me making it Zen.
Yeah. Jonathan suggested I do it one day, and it's interesting. If it reminded me a lot of like a labyrinth. I've only done labyrinths a few times, and when I've done them, it's very powerful. Going in towards the center is an internal journey, and then going back out is then like going out. And the way Jonathan does the torus field is through the center and then spiraling out. So as I was doing that, I was thinking about going inward and saying, okay, how am I going to move out into the external? How do I want to be? And I kept getting frustrated because I wanted it to be like his. It was like his always turn out in these beautiful, like perfect circles with the rake. And I'm raking, starting at the center, and I'm raking around, and I would stumble or when I would get to the outer ring, I was dodging things, and so it would show, like the lines would go shoop, shoop, just like a little bit. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to start over. And I must have started over maybe 5 or 6 times and notice the frustration. But this is why it's such a beautiful practice and a communion with God, really, is patience with myself, that I want perfection, and that's not how life is. We do have to go around things, and we stumble, and it may not look the way that I wanted to look. And then I was like doing it really fast, and then I said, well, maybe I should slow down. So it became this whole observation of my own internal dialogue. And then in the end, it looked pretty good. And realized that Jonathan's been doing it daily, multiple times a day, and that he now had turned it into a meditative practice. So it's very cool. It's and watching Shogun and seeing them in the gardens, and then they have rocks in theirs, and he talked about maybe putting a rock or two in ours.
Yeah, it's a anchor. It's it adds just another piece to the garden. And this is Gabriel, and he likes to be on camera.
Yes, he's our sweet boy. So that's a good one, of communing with God. The one also that we just started doing was we got an inversion table from Christopher and Yolanda, and we have it outside. And hanging upside down, how long have we had it? Maybe like a week and a half now?
Yeah, around a week and a half.
Yeah, and we've both been really diligent about doing it multiple times a day, at least in the morning and then in the evening, and today I did it in the middle. And it's shifting, but communion with God, the first thing I noticed was being upside down and meditating that way, of really seeing, okay, this change of perspective. And it reminded me, anyone that pulls cards, there's the hangman card, which is all about enlightenment, when you look at things in a different way. That figure's upside down. It's a whole different perspective, and it's becoming a spiritual practice of hanging upside down, and that this communion with God in the internal, and shifting my brain, shifting how I'm looking at things, and my whole body starting to shift in ways that I didn't think would happen, but by simply just inverting for a few minutes a day. So that for me has been spiritual time, communing with God outside, hanging upside down. Very unexpected spiritual time.
Yes. Yeah, it's
How's it been for you, hanging upside down, inverting?
I've always said this, right, that up and down is an illusion, right? There is no up or down. We're just floating around in space, right? There is no, right, where gravity pulls us to Earth, but that's just semantics, nouning, right, or just what direction it is, but it really is no up or down. So I was like thinking about that when I'm upside down, and I'm like, I'm always breathing down through my crown chakra, down into the earth through the torus field. And I was like, now that I'm upside down, it's different, right? Because I was trying to breathe, and I was like, let's try it now, down through my feet, down through my head, right? And I was like, and it just felt good. It just felt like I was moving it in a different direction, right? It was like this whole different feeling. Because you think about a Kundalini awakening is up your spine, but it would be a lot easier if you're pushing it down, right? That'd be down to your feet, down to your head, right? Or whatever. That's not awakening, but just sending that energy up your spine down to your head, right? Just, it just made sense to me. Then I just was thinking about mad scientist things and thinking about tuning people upside down and other things. And then the cat started licking me while I'm upside down, so I thought about how to move the inversion table away from where Blessing the cat could lick my face.
Yes. And she should, and yes, she does. You're upside down. She's like going across.
Her
yeah,
face.
like butt in the face and all that. But but it's kind of sweet too. Sometimes she just lays there.
And the neighbors are walking by.
Yes, and you say hello. Upside down. I think the kind of keeping going with were you finished with the inversion table? Because this is like kind of that and the Taurus field, the Zen garden are kind of our new practices. I'm a body therapist, and communion with God, I see the body as God. It's a living thing. It speaks. It communicates, and I've been doing a lot more, going back to some practices for my health and really like connecting to my own body. And I realized I've been a little bit distant from it. So doing the inversion, I'm really like going within my body and communing with it and noticing simply like how happy the organs are, like the stomach and the heart and the lungs, and especially the brain, of just having this opportunity to shift into a new position. And it like creates an opening, and then I can feel fluid coming in, and I can feel like space being created. And then I tried what you're saying, like moving the energy in a different way.
How did it feel?
It felt awesome.
Right.
It felt really good.
Yeah.
Like bringing it in through the feet from above. Again, yes, there is no above and below. And then bringing that into my organs with deep breathing. It's just, I don't know, it's been like this life changer for me. I've been told through my whole life that I should do inversion, and I've always, I don't want to do that. It makes me nauseous. It gives me a headache. It doesn't feel right. But now I'm like, man, why did I wait so long? It's been, my body, God, is very happy. Very happy with the whole practice.
Yeah.
And it's making me want to eat better, and it's making me want to drink more water and take care of myself more. It's totally like shifting everything.
Yeah.
I'd have to say though, I've been a little more flighty though. And I'm just chalking it up as brain fluids changing. But I haven't had as good of a memory. Yeah. I have been struggling to find words. Like there's been that kind of thing going on, but I also know that, okay, this is just temporary because things are shifting and flowing in different ways. So.
Bless you.
Yes, Gabriel sneezes. So any other ways of communing with God in everyday life?
A lot of times Christopher says things and it doesn't always register at first, right? Where it's you hear it, but it doesn't really make sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't click in, if that makes sense. It doesn't. I attribute it to the uh, uh, "it's caught, not taught" quote he always says, where it's almost where it finally integrates or flows through your Taurus field, where it's just then it clicks in and makes sense, right? And I was at Mount Shasta, and I was helped lead the group up trails, right? But by leading, I was in the we had a guide and he was in front of us the whole time and he was rushing everybody and there was people that weren't able to get that fast, right? And I thought, wait a minute, if anyone's going to lead, they're going to lead from the back, right? They're going to make sure that everyone's going to make it to where they're going and just go at the same pace and just enjoy where we were. And then I started thinking, like, what can I do? Why I'm being so patient? Because I'm like, okay, it's nice being patient and being conscious and present, but I also said I can, accomplish something, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to clear the path for anyone that's coming through here or myself. So anyone that's coming through there is me also. So I was moving all the pebbles and stones on the way up, and I had my tuning forks, and I was just tuning everything, every rock, every tree on the way, and I was giggling because it was like it lit up the trees. It was just like I was using a DNA fork on them. It was just like boom, 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 boom. It would just lighten them up, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, right? And I was just tuning everything right on the way there, clearing the path, right, and tuning everything so I'm clearing with sound and physically clearing everything. And I was like, man, it's like I got to the top and I felt good. And then we walked back down the same path and it felt different. It felt alive and, clear. And then it just, when we were getting ready for Trisha's birthday, I was clearing the path on the side of the house. It wasn't that it needed it. Someone could have walked on it, but I cleared it immaculately, right? So there was no leaves. Mm-hmm. It just looked perfect, right? So you're welcome in my house, and nothing is gonna trip you up, and that's the energy I wanted. And it felt like that. And the whole time while I'm doing it, I'm thinking it, and I'm writing my story while I'm doing it, Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it felt good. Everyone, that came was like, oh, it feels really, really nice, right? I put all these wind chimes up, right? And it's like a symphony outside, right? And it's like I sit there and, I'm like, where can I put these wind chimes, right? And I'm like, oh, I had them on all around under the soffit in the house. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. Where can I put these? And I was like, oh, I know, right? I'm going to put it in the trees, wind through the trees, right? I just kept thinking. So every time I hear the wind chimes, it's wind through the trees, right? It's just wind blowing through the trees, hitting those wind chimes, just reminding me, right, to be empty. And it does every time I hear it now. I actually put one up like 15 feet in the air between two trees. It looks so cool.
He really did an amazing job setting the space for the party, and you could feel the intention and the love, and even if I think pretty much everyone loved it, but specifically one man that he's never been here before, he's the brother of one of my friends, walked around and he had said he just feels so calm here. It feels so calm. And yeah, it did. And he doesn't feel comfortable in a lot of places, this particular person. So for him to say that meant something.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
it's not a uh I leave all the natural wildflowers, so all the natural wildflowers are here, right? And it's just like a good mix of wildlife and just I don't know what the word is, not neatness, but just comf- just what's the word I'm looking for? Just intention. There's intention and just free flowing, right? It's a combination of both.
Mhm.
So it's it's harmony. Harmony is the word. Thank you.
Yeah, it is harmony. And even with the wind chimes, it is. It really truly is. We had a really hard rainstorm today. And going back to communion with God and nature, um we had just when it rains like that, even though the tourist field filled up, I went out and was fixing a few things and looking at the wind chimes because it was windy too, and they were going. But just that, I just stood in the rain and communed. I said, I am, I am, and was looking out over the forest, and the rain was just, I was getting soaked. And it felt so good. It was a cleanse. It was an external feeling of something I was feeling inside. I've had a couple like really interesting like aha moments where things feel like they're clicking into place. And so that rain I felt was for me and signifying like washing away the old stories. It's kind of like a tuning with water. and anchoring in the changes that I have felt inside. So, yeah, that was beautiful. Another thing, one more quickie, is sweeping. I really enjoy sweeping with a broom, and that's a time for me of alignment and a speaking within, and also a feeling of doing an external sweep, signifying like sweeping away the debris of the day, or if I'm feeling upset about something, I'll start cleaning, and one of the first things I'll do is sweep, and it helps me process. It helps me transmute any emotional waves that are coming up that are preventing me from doing the quiet practice, the inner sight, sound, and presence. Yeah. So sweeping.
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 What else? Yeah, even taking a shower, right? Your intention of, right, just water, right? Just washing away anything that's not needed, right? It's going down, right? It's washing away down the drain, right? That's another one I'll do.
Mhm. You've been doing a lot of work with the Pythagorean forks, the or they're called the time travel forks, or what are the new ones called? There's a new set, the harmonic.
Yes, it's just a different octave of the same forks that they match the A110, just longer.
Right. Oh, okay. Do you feel that there's a communion with God happening when you're using the fork?
No, it's different.
It's a different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
that's more.
That's different.
It's more setting in. It's just
Shaping.
intention, right? It's more of affirmations. It would be than communion. Communion is just naturally what's in front of you, right? So you're just totally empty. That's not being empty. It's more intention with the forks. So it's more of a bird comes down and I'll start whistling, right? Even though I don't know what bird I'm whistling as, but I'm my own bird. So I'll do a...
You're birding.
Right? And sometimes I think they're talking back to me.
And they do.
Yes.
Because it's you.
Yes. And
He's talking to you.
Yeah. And then when I ask Nova if this sounds good, she says yes, and I'm doing all right, I think.
I don't, nature's just so magical to me. Like, I like to feel like the birds are talking to me, or the squirrels. Like, we have a lot of wildlife, and the squirrels, some mornings, if I'm out there, they'll see me and they do this, sometimes they get angry that I'm in their space, and I'll sit there and say, hey, we can share this space. I'm sitting there having a conversation with the squirrel and having a good time. And it's like they're looking at me, doing their little tail and squawking.
Yeah.
So we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I think of Karate Kid, right? Karate Kid with right, with all the the painting and washing in the car, right? Yeah. That was trying to teach him communion with God, right? It's just
sand the floor.
Yeah.
Wash on, wash off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it's if you flow with nature and, right, as Bruce Lee would say, be water, right? When a water enters a pot, it fills the pot. Right? It's just water fills anything. It can move through anything. It's just be fluid, right?
It takes the shape of whatever it's in.
Yeah, but it also can be put in a fire hose and crash through a wall. It's just,
Or they say, like, even just a consistent drip of water over time can shape a rock.
Yeah.
And then it takes many forms also. Yeah. Ice and vapor and plasma. I had a thought and it's gone. Something about internal. Should have wrote it down. Oh, Qigong. Because you had mentioned something, and we've been talking about Qigong. We've been doing it, and I found a book from a Qigong teacher that worked at BAM when we first opened up for a few years, and she taught Qigong and Tai Chi. So I found a book and passed it to Jonathan, and we do Christopher's cultivation exercises, but Qigong, communion with God, of moving qi or moving energy either around or through the body. To me, qi is God. Qi or prana or energy is God. And Qigong's pretty easy to do. It's just about consistently doing it.
Yeah. I remember early, it was 10, 12 years ago, early on my path in New York, there was mountains, right, that you could hike up, right? And I was always like, who is going to do that? That is not on my bucket list of fun things to do, right? And one day I was like, not everyone has reached the top of a mountain, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go do this. And me and my friends, right, we walked up this huge mountain, right? And it was steep. I was like, holy cow. Uh, there was hikers passing us, like guys in their 70s just speed walking past us, and they had backpacks on. I'm like, holy cow. Oh, where are we?
You're all like,
yeah. Right? But when you get to the top, right, it's like the journey of Jacob's ladder upward, right? It's just the, trials and tribulations up, right? But then you get to the top and view down. It's like, oh, all your problems just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just so beautiful. No, there's no one else up there. It smells different. The air is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of Greece. I visited a friend. She happened to be there at the same time, and went over to Santorini to visit her, and we did a little island hop trip, and one of them was a volcanic mountain, and it sounded great, right? Oh, cool. Greece, it was hot, and this volcanic mountain was all these like black stones, and so we're hiking up, and it's so hot and so steep, and we're talking about communion with God. Now that day, it was not nice communion with God. It was like, oh my God, we're gonna die. It was so hot. We joke about it that when we got to the top, we were like, it was like, yes, this view is great, but oh my God, thank God we made it. And they had like a little shelter up there, but that it sounded better in the book than it really was in person. Like, just add that element of like dark stones with the sun shining and the heat.
When was it?
It was in August, so it was summer.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And we had water and everything, but she and I was pretty fit back then, and so was she, and it was rough, but that was a different kind of communion with God. That was like one of those challenges that you're like, we're going to do this, because we could have stopped and turned around, but we were like, no, we're going to do it, as much as we thought we might pass out. But that feeling of accomplishment is what you're talking about. It's really an allegory of life. You had said it. You go through all those trials and tribulations, and then you get to the top, and it's like a whole I can't think of the word. A beautiful experience, like very godly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Christopher and I were loading all the stuff, but we had to go this back way, and we had to go bring all the tables and the Mr. Light, Mr. Sound downstairs, and it was hot, right? And he was like, I forget what he said, something like, thank God. No, he didn't say that, those words. He was like, oh, thank goodness we don't have to, this is the furthest trip, right? And I said, oh, yes, you must first walk up the mountain before you can walk down. I was just being stupid to him. He was like, oh, very zen, Jonathan. I forget what he said, but I was just screwed with him.
Yeah, so Spirit Fest, Fort Myers, we just did that show with Christopher. Yeah, and I think the communion, going with the topic of communion with God, And when people get on the table at these, and it's like a continuous stream of people, and we're in our element, we're tuning, we're clearing, we're being present with each of them and seeing patterns. To me, that's very godly of doing healing work and seeing the patterns. Like one day, it's like you might have segments of people that kind of have similar experiences. Like we had that one show where women were birthing, going through like a birth process. This show, it felt like there was a lot of people that just naturally gravitated. Like we heard time and again, I knew I needed to come to see you, and it needed to be at the end of my journey here. Like they knew that they wanted to do this, get this crystal, do this reading, and then come to see us. So people were very intentional. They had a plan. Very intuitive. It was a very intuitive crowd. So to me, that's seeing those patterns of healing or of things that people are. Yeah, I think I'm done. The words aren't coming out. Yeah.
I at a show, right? I was talking to Christopher about coming in the mindset of the Blue Star Mystery School, right? And you're coming in with the mindset that there is no spirit guides and it's all an illusion, no angels, right? And I really never thought about it in this way, but really we're in the lion's den, right? It's almost like we're purposely, like I think we're almost Steve Irwin, right? We're the crocodile hunter, where we're just poking animals and crocodiles, and right, we're poking people, and not intentionally, but it's throughout the show, it's making people upset, right? It's just you can feel it. It's just there's an intensity that's coming from all the tables being on. We have 5 tables, just and it's just echoing through the whole arena, right? It's really awesome, but it's pissing people off, right?
And the sound of the tuning forks.
Yeah, the tuning forks, and it drives people. Some people, not everyone. Some people come up and thank us, right? Oh, you helped. Your energy helped me, with my readings, and I was like, oh, that's great. I love hearing that. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to be the best Jonathan, and Trish is trying to be the best Trish she can be. I'm not trying to, screw anyone up. I'm not in a competition with anybody, right? But it feels that way. It just feels, but that's the communion, it's test, right? It's not only the beauty, it's the test of, can this break my zen? Am I gonna be a brittle old tree when the wind blows through me, or I'm gonna be a bamboo that can't be broken and just sways with the wind, right? I try to just, things are going to come up, and they're going to come up a lot more when you're doing, either the sound table is going to turn off or something's going to happen. We had Nova with us. Nova was going underneath the chair, scratching her butt, unplugging things. It was a test of.
He did really well though. Most of the weekend she laid in her bed and went up to some people. And when they got on the side of the table, she came and like went right under the body, under their feet.
Yeah,
They put
she
their
is.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So talking about communing with God, I mean, yeah, like God speaks through Nova, and says she'll go under the table for certain people, and they've said, I felt her helping.
yeah, she does. She knows who needs. She'll come over and puts her body underneath their feet, almost it's grounding them, and she's just amazing. She's an amazing dog.
She is.
It was
But yeah, there is a lot of intense energy there. We've talked about that before on other podcasts. And the other thing is, because so many times people will say the energy here in this corner just feels so good, and a lot of times our corner is full of people, and if other vendors there are not that way, that's another reason
which is understandable.
Energy.
It's, because there's been lulls in when we've been doing work, and I started asking, like, what's going on, right? But
but then we start to engage people.
The first thing always is Christopher, right, teaches well, right, with a lot of things, and it's just a remembrance, right? It's remembering Mo, right? Momentum, right? Momentum starts with just tuning anybody. I'll try to, once you grab somebody and put them on the table and tune them for free, the energy just starts moving, right? And then it's okay, here it comes, right? And it's just, now people walk by and they can feel, right? Like, okay.
Or they like to watch, with they like to watch what's happening.
We have Mr. Light and Mr. Sound just expanding the energy. It's intense. It's intense with 5 tables playing. It's a lot of energy moving.
Yeah, there was a lot of energy at that one. The intensity, but putting someone on the table, or going, if someone's passing by, asking if they've ever felt a tuning fork, and then doing one on their hands so they can at least get the experience. Even if they don't get on the table, it's educating. It's opening them up to something new, to sound, and then they may come back around and ask more questions, or get a car wash from Christopher. It's just, there's always ways, if we do have a lull, to not just sit on the phone, but to actually still do our healing work.
Yeah, there's some shows, like, I didn't get to, I think it was the first, I didn't even get to go to the bathroom. Like, it was back to back to back to back. It was just the whole day of just back to back people. And it was, when I say I love it, I mean I love it. It is this is what I live for. It's just like, the more people you tune, the more it just, tuning myself, and every person is me, so it's just, every person I'm just adding to my healing and my journey, right? It just feels so good. I just get more and more intense and happy with, people just start cracking up laughing, right? When they're at the point of breaking, right? They don't want to cry because it's in the middle of Spirit Fest, right? And then I'll say to them, you want to just cry or let it go, and they just start bursting laughing, and that is the happiest thing to me. Oh my God, that is the best thing. Laughter is the ultimate release. So instead of crying, you just they just let it all go, just laughing.
It is. That's the best. Yeah, release doesn't have to be crying, but we have our share of crying on the table too. But laughter is the best. So I think, we were talking about the Pythagorean forks, but all the tuning forks, I think that is communion with God. That is. like you even just said, you're tuning, when you tune someone else, you're tuning yourself. And we're all droplets of awareness that are coming from the same place. So
yeah. If you got a problem in your leg, you say, okay, this person is me, and I'm going to clear this in them, right? And eventually you do it on 5, 6 people, right? Your leg's going to start feeling a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So so Kelly and Linda are live listening. I'm just inviting you to maybe share if there's something we didn't share of how you commune with God, source, share consciousness, how you do it. If there's a way that you do it that we have not said.
Yeah, the ocean, right? We're lucky, the ocean, right? When I go out to the ocean and I sit in the waves, and every time it hits me, it's washing away all my problems or anything that's dissonant in my field, and then it's bringing back out all new energy when it washes back out, right? It's just like pushing out and then washing in, right? It's just like back and forth, and you just feel it, right? Oh, I just feel so good, right? But you're just setting the intention of it just clearing. You're just these droplets of awareness, right? I picture myself as a luminous egg, and just passing through me, right? And just washing it away. And then the sun, right? And then you have to add it to the sun, just charging you, your space in the sun. Just, yeah.
The beach really is the ultimate healing zone. I mean, there's so much there. Then you got the birds flying, the fish flying. So Kelly says, water, nature, walking in the grass, yes, mowing the lawn, tuning myself or clients, animals, yes. Very nice. Mowing the lawn. I've heard that. What do you like? What about mowing the lawn? Tell us about mowing the lawn, what that means for you. Me time. Yeah, right? It is. It's just you. Do you put earbuds in and listen to anything while you mow, or are you really just tuning into the humming of the mower and the patterns that you're doing in the grass? I was just thinking about dancing when I move to music in some way. That's communion with God for me, because it's engaging my body, it's moving chi, it's breath, and it's working with sound. So dance. I'm adding that one to my list.
Yeah, mowing the lawn is just like a Zen garden, where if you're going around counterclockwise, you're bringing that energy up, as that's your giant Taurus field or wherever it is, and you're keep going counterclockwise, moving that energy up through your Taurus field, right? And and then just making sure that you're not like a tuning fork, you're not missing a spot when you're going over a body, right? It's just your intention is, okay, I'm going to make perfect perpendicular lines, right, over whatever emotional body, whatever calls, whatever you want to use, right? You can see that you're just getting every spot, almost as a kid coloring within the lines type of thing, That was intention too, There were certain people that were just my mom, she would drive her crazy if she got in one of those lines. She was a little circler. She'd do little circles. You ever see that? She's a little circle.
That's how she colored?
Yeah, it was perfect every time. I'm like, how do you do that? Right? But she's like, little circles.
Interesting. Yeah.
It was her own method. But you think about it now, little circles, she's doing, right?
She's
doing
unwinding.
Yeah.
Maybe that was her way of...
Yeah, but she didn't know,
Yeah, but something in her knows. So, mowing with no ear pods, listening to the birds, making straight lines. Yeah.
Shoveling snow. Yeah.
Shoveling snow and pottery you're adding. Yes. Yeah. Pottery for sure. The feeling of the clay, the tactile. Yeah. Pottery, definitely.
And snow, when you're shoveling the snow, you know that it's going to come right back. So I'm just kidding. That's what I would think about. This is stupid. I'm just shoveling it, and it's not going anywhere. He's just making piles. It would drive me crazy. But shoveling snow, it has to be an intention, because if you don't do it correctly, right, you're leaving places where to melt and ice up, right? So it has to be an intention of, okay, this is my path, right? You need a path. If you don't make a path, your life is going to be a lot more hectic.
Mhm.
Oh my God, we got 2 Kellys. Oh
wow, Kelly, you just duplicated yourself. I think the shoveling snow. It's been a long time since I've done that, but we used to shovel and make piles, and then sometimes we'd make snowmen and stuff. But this one year we made my brother probably did most of it, but it was like packed in, and then we dug it out and made like an igloo. And you got in by like getting on your belly and sliding like in it, and it was like encased. It was like really cool. So to me that was snow's fun. But shoveling's kind of like mowing. You can do the patterns and then add that element of lifting. You definitely sweat more when you
a snowman. Snowman is you, right? I guess you can you want to make sure that snowman's nice.
Mhm. Yep.
Let's talk. There's examples on here. What are the examples? Stargazing. Stargazing is, right, because that's your subconscious, right, or your unconscious mind, right? So it's funny what will show up, right? Sometimes around here there's rockets shoot off, so you got rockets, and there's so much. The one night it was a helicopter, right? It's like, well, okay.
If we were communing with God that night, what did that say?
But it all has a meaning. It's all an illusion. So it's like, okay, it's
all part of the simulation.
Yeah.
So what would that simulation meaning be, that we had a helicopter, like literally, like it was searching for something, but it kept going over us, and it literally like dropped down.
Yeah,
shined its light like right on us. We were walking Nova, and we literally just stood there like, oh my God, like what are they gonna like land, and like take us? It was very, very weird. But they obviously thought we were who they were looking for a minute.
I don't know what they thought.
I was thinking also about like artwork, like communing with God through creativity. Right now I'm looking at a forged in fire sign that's, metal work, blacksmithing and stuff. But when I was thinking about painting, or you mentioned pottery, when when I'm like deep in creative process, like not like, oh, it has to be perfect, but just like really like going within, and it's the kind of creative process. It's like what's in there that wants to come out into the physical reality, and just being in that meditative state of creating. That's definitely communing with God when I can get there. If I can put that like thinking brain aside, that perfection brain that wants it to be exactly right, if I can push that aside and just be more in like a flow where God's expressing God through me, there's been a couple times like that when I've created from that space.
Yeah. I look at, if there's anything that's a representation of your life, it's traffic, right?
Traffic.
It is. To me, it's, it's...
Yeah. Explain.
I feel as if...
I wasn't expecting that. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, that is not what I thought you were going to say.
It's just, if things are being clogged up in your life, it's almost like you're going to get met with traffic all times, right? It's just, it's an illusion that it's like, oh, it's just traffic all the time and it's on the news, right? There's not going to be traffic everywhere you go, but sometimes it just feels like that way, right? So that means there's all these outside influences coming in, and it could be a good thing depending on if that traffic is free flowing or it's making your head explode, right? But I'll try to set an intention, right? Of, okay, the road's going to be clear, and I'm going to have a free flowing ride through all the traffic, like a free tourist field through my body, right? Just aligning. And Christopher always, I asked him, I always pay attention to everything he does, and he always drives most of the time in the middle of the 3 lanes. And I go, do you drive in the middle lane because it's the middle path, right? And he was like, no, Jonathan, it's just I have an RV, and it's I don't believe him, but that's what he said. He drives it because it's the safest. But I know he's doing it on purpose. It does. It makes sense, though.
Yeah, the middle way.
Yeah, it's the middle way. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do it in all things, right? It just starts appearing in everything,
No, it's traffic's, that's an interesting. If we look at what's happening in the external world as a reflection of what's happening inside of us, and God's right here. Like, yes, if you're in a traffic jam or traffic congestion, what's congested in your own internal landscape? If I'm trying to get somewhere and I'm in traffic, if I can step aside and breathe and not get annoyed, I usually go into gratitude that it's a chance to just like stop and breathe for a minute. Rather than pick up my phone and try to like catch up on texts or whatever, if it's, it's like, okay, maybe I need to just stop and observe for a minute, like look out the window and breathe. And
yeah, that means it should be applied to all things, or you apply it in your mind to all things. Okay, next time I'm at work, why I'm doing this is how it's going to be, right? Or if you just set that intention as, it's not just what you're doing, it's you make it into your own little play, of this is me expanding my energy. Or if you're doing kickboxing, it's just, you kicking life's butt, or, what I'm saying? It's just...
Yeah, like, I guess sports could be. You just mentioned kickboxing, but sports could,
yeah, it just
be applied to what you're saying. Yeah. Kickboxing, what are you kicking?
Yeah. And what do your legs represent?
Yep.
What else you got?
Anything else in there? Hi, Miss Nova. Miss Nova's coming to visit. Hello.
Children, right? There was it was a very funny. There was a bunch of
We had a few young
few
people
young
get
kids.
on our table.
Yes, I am very. I don't act it when I'm working, right? But a lot of kids are. They see me, I'm big, and they want to know. They want to just be around me for some reason. But I feed into it. I love.
Yeah,
right, just
you're
being
really
Uncle Jonathan, right?
He's really good with kids, yes.
And so, he gets on the table, and they never want to close their eyes. And I try to get them to close their eyes, but it doesn't matter. So I'll make it into a game for them. Where I'm like, oh, you ever play video games? So of course that's going to be a yes, right? But I'm like, okay, so we're going to go through all the levels right now. We're going to go through all the levels, and at the end of the levels, we're going to be a superhuman, or what video game you like. So this kid like Pokemon, you're going to be a Pokemon master or whatever, right? And it just excites them. They're like, oh, and I'm like, and I'll go through it, and I'm like, oh, we're level 2. Oh, here we go, level 3, right? Uh-oh, level 4, right? And then we just keep moving up, right? But that kid is me, right? That kid is a little version of me, right? And that's what I'm looking at. Not that he's his mom was on the other table, and she's like, "Oh, please, God, don't embarrass me." And I was like, "No, I love it, right? I really do. He does not bother me whatsoever." And yeah, I wanted her because she needed to relax.
Yeah.
So it was my privilege to just, and I feel privileged that she let me work on him. He's a small kid. They don't know what I'm doing. They didn't even really ask. They just know that he wanted to do it.
He not only wanted to, but they waited, I'd say, for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because we had a long list, and there was a mix-up. So we had people extend how long they wanted to be on the table. So they had to keep waiting, and I said to her, I said, I understand if you don't want to wait. She goes, no, he is set that he wants this full experience. He was watching Jonathan. He wanted Jonathan to tune him, and he was going to wait. So, yeah, so Mom agreed to do it with him, and as soon as Mom knew Jonathan was bantering and playing and having fun with him, she's like, okay. She literally said, I relinquish control, and then just dropped in and had a beautiful session.
Yeah.
And and then they were having fun over there playing the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, it was but children communing with God, children through the mouths of babes is one of the phrases, but a lot of times what comes out of young people's mouths are very wise, very insightful, and sometimes just funny. But
yeah,
there was one young person that was, usually I'm very fun and playful with young people, but there was one that was testing my patience. Yeah, so I have to look at that. Like, if he's me and that's God communing with me, and I'm being impatient, that's also something to look at. That is me annoying myself. What was it about? Now I'm going to have to journal about this. What was it about?
3 hours, and we drove there in the morning. So we didn't sleep overnight. It was 3 hours we got there, and we're unloading everything. We haven't even set up, and he's there. He's like, he loves me, and I always let him just do what he wants to do. I'm like, go ahead, play with the tuning fork. He just wants to be.
He does.
He wants to know.
To be Jonathan.
Yeah, but I don't want to ever tarnish that. I don't want to ever put a dent in that streak.
Either.
Because,
I don't either, though. I don't want to kill
I don't. I don't say you do. It's just, I don't.
But it's true. We're trying to like set up. We had an hour, to get everything set. And yes, and he was like standing there and talking and yeah, asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, sweetie, all right, let's move out of the way. We're setting up. We're setting up. Yeah.
Yeah. He just got.
Yes.
I think he's which Trisha and I were both. We were the babies of the family, and all his mom and dad work at the expo. So he's got to find something to do because they're getting all the attention. So, Yeah. Yeah, he loves. I must have tuned him 3 times. He just wants to,
Yeah.
And then he was like trying to talk to people. He just, it's hard to yell at him because A, we're busy, and I'm like, man, I gotta focus. I don't have time to be. Then Nova's trying to look at me to go outside. I'm like, oh my god. This is a true test.
There were a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But it really all harmonized very nicely. And even with this young one, I kept thinking, when are his mom and dad going to come and get him? Like, when is he going to go back to his, to stay here?
Yeah, but they trust us. That's another thing. It's just they trust us.
For sure they do.
I will always honor people's trust. I will never,
Yeah.
I'm not going to just shoo him away because.
But, so children. Children
are a test of patience, right? Thank God, my point of view might be different if I had that child every day of my life. But right now, he was fun because he was for the weekend, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah.
I have plenty of children here that are fur children, and they test my patience as well.
They're in a phase where they were trying to run outside, all the kittens who are now like 9 months. But with the children, I think too, I always think like when I was a child, how did I want adults to treat me? It's like I was treated pretty well, so I want to do that. I don't want to squash a child's interests or dreams, I want to try to cultivate it and be
because I remember it's all just a repeat. It's just people showing themselves to you. Is that there was times in my life where I just wanted to be, I looked up to someone and I wanted to be like them, and then they totally disregarded and told me I couldn't, and I didn't want to do it anymore. I lost my whole passion for it. It changed my whole trajectory, right? Maybe that was for the better, right? But at the same time, it's just, I know what I'm doing is positive, and if he can follow in some footsteps, not all of them, he doesn't have to follow in all of them, but if he's just learns from a young age this, and it stays with him, it's going to be great for everyone. So, that's a benefit to anything. That's why, I always offer to tune people that wouldn't normally get tuned, but they say, oh, I'll just tune you for free. Just come over and test it. Because I know just that one tuning, right, will change. It will be implanted in their head, right? I'll secretly get Christopher come over and do a little fire finger, and then I know it's definitely implanted somewhere. So sometime, somewhere that is gonna come out, right? It's now it's there. It's I'm not trying to do anything malevolent. It's just, it's just putting a thought that's always been there, just a reminder. It's not, it's just the truth. It's just implanting the truth. It's right there. All right?
Implanting the truth.
It is. It really is.
It is.
It's It's undeniable what the truth is.
It's exposing them to something that they're in. If they wouldn't be in that time and space if they weren't open to doing it. Like, they wouldn't say yes if they didn't, if something in them weren't attracted to either you or the work or Christopher or the tuning forks or sound. If you're giving them an opportunity and by saying, like, I'll tune you for free, like, come on, have this experience, you know?
Yeah.
It's good. It's service. It's opening, whether it's an adult or a child or someone that would never think, like, I'm going to pay for a healing session, you know, like, they may not have done it ever, anything like that. So you're, like, opening a whole, like, door for them.
Yeah. The only thing that we might do that is different is that we chant, you know, but I'm not chanting. I'll tell everyone what I'm chanting. I don't, there's no way you can't know what I'm chanting. Most of the time I'm chanting loud enough where you know exactly what I'm chanting. But that's the only thing I could see where someone was like, oh, it's something I don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's just sound and vibration, and the sound that's coming from me, it just sounds the same as monks would chant. It's just, you know, Tibetan chants. There's anything, you know, unordinary. It's just that's your tuning fork, right? Your sound is unique to you. That's your voice is the ultimate tuning fork that no one can take away, right? Say something happens and all your tuning forks flush down the river or whatever, right? And you have nothing. You have your voice though. Your voice is what makes you you.
It's the ultimate instrument that you always have with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to just come to attention of the glowing hair that is Mike. Look at this. It's just it's just crazy how he's just living his best life. Right? Look at this. I've been staring at this the whole time. And I was like, Mike is me. He's like, he's just on his Harley just riding through the wind. He's just so zen. He's just so soft. I just can't stop staring at it. The plan is just blowing his hair. He's just happy. He's a happy guy. And I don't know if you can notice that, but you do now. Maybe forever in your dreams, Mike.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add about our topic? Communing with God through the everyday. I'm not remembering what was the communing with God with everyday life?
And then I look at all like stone structures and right that they were doing the same thing, right? All
well, it's chills from the fan, but also yes, the stone structures.
Right, they're obelisks or but they were put in patterns, right? And it was the same thing. Or you look at the Nazca lines, it was communing with God, right?
Nazca lines. I don't know.
The Nazca lines were all these huge like figures that you could only see from. You'd have to be flying to see it, but it wasn't because they had to be flying. They were just looking at everything from a viewpoint from above, right? So it was as if they were astral traveling or just being in the jellyfish looking down. And so there were huge figures of people and birds and all these things, right? And back then, supposedly, they didn't have anything that was flying worthy or technology wise. So they were like, oh, how the hell did they do this? But
so not like crop circles, but bigger, like imprints in in the lands that you could see from an aerial view, and they were figures.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I never heard of that. Nazca lines.
Yeah, the Nazca people there were skulls found. Here's my nerd coming out. So there was the Nazca people were skulls, elongated skulls, and they were founded. And like some other cultures, they just disappeared. There's no more evidence of elongated skulls. There was only, there was other ones found in America, but there was a whole civilization there that once existed that disappeared, right? And they were called the Nazca people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the elongated skull, you think about it, would probably expand your consciousness, I guess, or your receiving. I don't know. I would guess it would make you smart. I think that's why Coneheads was based off of that. Dan Aykroyd is very smart. He's a very smart guy. Mm-hmm. He's a very he's done a lot of research, yes. Okay. Even before anyone else. That was in the 80s.
Yes. So the Nazca. Naska?
Nazca.
Nazca. All right.
That's Peru.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
There's Nazca lines because there's a lot there, but they're lines all over Peru on the mountainside. Like, what is that doing there? There's so much ancient stuff there. It's insane. It's just really cool. Mm-hmm. I gotta go to the bathroom now.
We're gonna end. Well, okay. I have to go also. He beat me to it. But it is getting close to 9. I guess I'll hang in there until he gets back to do official close. So thank you for everyone that was watching. Communing with God is a good topic. It's a really good topic. Is there anything else anyone wants to add before we end our broadcast? I'm going to look at my notes for a minute, just in case I forgot something. I actually did put doing mundane tasks besides sweeping, doing dishes and folding laundry, which a lot of times I don't love doing, but once I do it just to get it done, I think about it as a meditation. That if I'm doing dishes, I'm wiping away, kind of like the sweeping, wiping away debris. With folding, it's like putting order in from disorder. And I'm not like an exact folder, but I like to make piles of like things, and it does bring contentment, and I can get into a meditative state and go in within when I'm doing those mundane tasks. So kind of like what you were saying with the mowing, of making the lines. I like to make the piles, and sometimes I'll put things with colors. Yeah, working with the colors of the laundry. So, all right. So you want to say bye-bye before I tune off?
Goodbye, everybody. And remember, if you do not first succeed, do not try skydiving.
See you next time on Blue Star Connection.